Okay, last time we created this little explosion animation by just dragging a sequence of frames into the scene, and Unity automatically created our animation for us. This time we're going to do it far more deliberately. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up first a empty object. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's create a sprite character here by just dragging a sprite into the scene. So there he is, and not doing much of anything. It's just a little character in the scene. And we'll go ahead and we will disable the enemy death explosion thingamabob, and we'll focus on our hero here. And we'll go ahead, heroes at 0, 0. Wonderful. All right, so there's our hero. Not doing much of anything. So let's make our hero walk. We're going to do this explicitly now. First, we're going to add a component. We're going to add an Animator component to that character. Now, the Animator is normally where we assign some sort of state machine, a controller to that Animator. Now, so we need to create that Animator controller. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go into our directory here, and that's where I spend so much of my time. Create in our animation folder, we will create a Animator controller. Okay, this little state machine sort of looking thing, and we will call this a walk cycle or a walk controller. All right. And let's get that capitalization a little better there. Okay, great. Now if we go back to our character here, we can use our little target, and that'll show up here on this screen. And we'll say we want to use our walk controller with that animator. Okay, we could just as easily say, oh, look, let's just drag this over here, put the walk controller on there. All right, so now if we double click on it, we should see our controller window here, which is our state machine, right? We've now opened up the animator, the walk controller, animator controller here, which is our state machine. It has any state, entry state, exit state, no animations, no other states in here. All right, go back to hero, and quickly let's create an animation for it. So in order to do that, we're going to go right to the same. We're going to do this explicitly again, deliberately. Come out here, we're going to say, okay, create a animation. And we will call this walk down. This is going to be our walk down animation. Now, an animation on its own, you notice there it is, and it's going to be hard to add properties and things to it because it's not associated with any particular controller or particular character or object and that sort of thing. So what I like to do next is I'll go back to the project and say, yes, this walk down is a state within this state machine. Right? So now this walk down is part of the walk controller. Now I'm going to do one other quick thing. So I'm going to say this is a looping animation. So when I created it, I should say, okay, it's a looping animation. It's part of this walk controller. Now if I go to hero walk over here and I press play, I'm still not going to get much going on. All right. And let's see. If I do a split here, let's try to do this, and we'll see that it does go into that walk down animation, because that is the default animation for this, but there is nothing really in there, right? This animation has nothing going on. So let's give that animation something going on. So we double click on that, we see it in here now. We can't add properties, can't really touch it because the object it is associated with is not selected, right? This is the thing we want to animate with that, right? So now we could decide to add properties and things. So we have it selected. Let's go ahead, we're going to drag this project over here because I want to drag from our artwork here, our tiny RPG hero walk That was hero walk down, right? And down is hero walk front. Okay, good. I'm going to select these 6 frames. Yep, 6 frames. And drag them. Now I can drag them in here. And I'm going to tell it that it is 12 frames per second. Right? And I got the samples per second, frames per second over here. I can say show that, so that I can then edit it there. And now I have an animation that has those sprites in it. So if I press play now, if all goes well, you should see that my default animation within that scene, within that character, is sure enough working. Congratulations. We have done it the hard way. So let's add a quick another animation for it. So we have to walk down. Let's create new clip. Let's create walk up. Okay. And we'll say walk up is also 12 frames per second. We don't have anything in it yet. So what we'll do is we'll go walk back and select these 6 frames. Put those in our animation here. So we have walk down, we have walk up. But if I press play, it doesn't know the difference between walk up and walk down. It doesn't know how to make transitions. And we will talk about that in our next video. Last, I'm going to create a walk side here. All right, walk side anim, save. And let's see, walk side, choose those 6. Put those in there. 12 frames per second. And I can kind of preview that if I like. Walk up, preview, walk down, preview. And like I said, in here we can see now in our state machine we do have our additional states, but we have no way to get to them just yet.